Hi everyone, I'm here today with David Schiesher. David practices psychological counseling in Geneva since 2007. We will talk about tapping method because it's very interesting and helpful and you can practice this anywhere you are and it's very easy to learn. David, why don't we start by talking about tapping method? How does it work and who is it for?
So, tapping was developed in the 1970s by an American psychologist by the name of Roger Callahan. And in the beginning, he called it thought field therapy. And he was working with a woman who had a severe fear of water. And he was working with her for about a year and a half, and nothing was helpful for her. And then he started studying the meridians that flow through the body, like in Chinese medicine, the energy meridians. And he had the idea that he would try tapping on a couple specific points on her, and then her fear of water was gone. So that gave him the idea to develop this type of method using both talk and also tapping on the body to stimulate the energy meridians. And then another guy by the name of Gary Craig made Roger Callahan's thought field therapy more available to a wider range of people by making the training more affordable and advertising it more, and he called it emotional freedom technique. And instead of using just a few of the points, um, Gary Craig, who developed emotional freedom technique, decided to use all of the 8 points, no matter what the issue was. He called it like flooding the system and arranging all of the energy meridians, no matter if you had a phobia of water, or if you had a fear of flying, or if you had a past trauma experience. He found that using all 8 points um, was very, very effective. And so the method became more and more popular, and he started giving seminars and trainings to large groups of people, and he made it very easy to learn and to spread.
Are there some restrictions when you use tapping? Can we use it with children?
I can't think of any restrictions really. Children are it works very well with children because they enjoy this like new idea of tapping on themselves, and they enjoy it very much, and it doesn't feel like work, and it feels fun to them, so it can work quite well with children, with any age of person. You don't even, some people don't believe in the energy methods of similar to acupuncture, but even it doesn't matter if you believe in it or not, it can still work for you. So no, I don't. It's quite a safe method, quite gentle, and quite effective.
You mentioned an energy meridian. What is it?
The energy meridians are lines of energy that flow through the body, um, and I'm not an expert on. I didn't study energy meridians per se like acupuncturists do, or meridians or pathways of flow of energy through the body, and they have certain places where they begin, certain places where they end, and when there is an emotional jolt, or maybe a shock, or a trauma of some kind, or a very unpleasant emotion that occurs, the energy meridians can get a bit blocked or impeded in some way. And when you tap on the certain points or on the ends of the energy meridians, it opens that blockage or that flow, so that the energy can flow freely through again, releasing some of that emotion that has been held in the body, and allows it to release, giving the person a relief from that emotion.
We would like to also do a session with David so that you can see how it works. It's very easy and you can do it with us.
If you want to talk about something that you would like to release, or something that's bothering you.
So I think we can talk about my fear of driving, of being in a car. Well, I'm always scared that we'll have an accident and it will die.
Okay. Wow, that's quite severe. Um, so I just want to get a measure of that fear of dying when you're in a car right now as you're sitting here. So if you could think about being in a car, and on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, what is that level of fear as you sit here right now?
8.
So it's quite high, just imagining being in a car. Okay, so we'll work on fear of being in a car and possibly dying in a car. Okay, so Miriam, we're going to start working on this fear of being in cars and fear of dying while you're in the car. So let's start tapping and just follow me. So kind of keep your eye on me a little bit. And when I change the position, then I'd like you to also change the position. This is the first position. I'd like you to talk to me about an experience, so on the side of the eye, an experience recently perhaps where you felt this fear when you were in the car.
Well, for example, this morning when we were driving to Geneva, I was really nervous and scared because I was feeling that my husband is driving very fast. And I know it's not true because he's very careful, but I was just so scared.
Could you describe how you felt that fear in your body?
Well, I always feel sick in my stomach. It's like if I'm going to throw up. It's like if someone is punching me. Yes, and then I'm nervous and I sweat. It's really as if something was going to happen.
And are you feeling any of those feelings right now?
Well, yes. If I imagine again sitting in a car, then yes.
So I would like you to imagine that as if you were coming on your way here again, and describe in as much detail as you can what the situation was and how that made you feel.
There was a lot of traffic, and I just felt that we were really close to the other cars and that other people are not responsible because they're driving so far and so close to us. And they're overtaking also without thinking about the others. I mean, about us. And that will hit some other car and that we will have an accident.
And then what would happen if there was an accident?
Well, I always imagine that we'll die. Yeah.
And what is the fear around dying?
Well, I'm not sure if it's really fear around dying or around not finishing what I started, maybe.
In terms of what?
In terms of finishing what I feel I need to do in this life, to fulfill my life, that it will just finish too soon. And then also now when we have our daughter, then I'm always afraid that she'll be alone. She'll grow up without us.
Yeah, that would be quite sad.
Yes.
So it's really the fear has developed from the fear of being in the car to an association with dying, and therefore leaving things undone and not being there for your daughter.
Yes.
So just allow those feelings to come up for a moment and to sit with that. So you're doing a great job of bringing up those feelings. And as you bring up those feelings, talking about them in a safe spot with me, and also tapping on these energy meridians is helping those feelings, those emotions the feeling of nausea in your stomach to start to subside a bit. How is it feeling now?
Honestly, I still feel the same. It's really funny because I feel we already did once this tapping session and it helped for 2 weeks, and then it started again. So I think it's something really deeply seated because I just don't understand.
So the fact that it lasted for 2 weeks is a good sign. So around that 2 week point, would probably have been necessary to have another session of tapping to reinforce the first session, similar to what we're doing now. Because our time is limited today, so if we had more time, I would probably spend more time on these difficult aspects of the sphere of yours. But now I'd like to switch to some of the positive aspects of being in a car and positive aspects of being here with living this life with your daughter and your husband and all of the positive things that you get from those experiences. If you could just maybe describe some of the positive aspects.
We have a really good relationship with my husband, and I find that it's very relaxed. It's like maybe it's the fear connected to that as well, that I'll lose it. Maybe that if we die. Then the same with my daughter, because she makes me very happy. So that's again the thing that I would lose that.
So now we're focusing on the positive. So focusing on the good relationship with your husband and the good relationship and the love that you have for your daughter. And what about something about cars and something positive about cars and being in cars?
That's hard.
It's not your relationship with cars, but
Positive. I don't know. That maybe when I can imagine now positive thing because we're going to be in Costa Rica for nearly a month, and then we'll travel a lot in a car. So I think I'm actually looking forward to that, which is funny. So that's one positive thing that I can look forward to, and we'll be traveling a lot. Other positive thing, I don't know. I don't know. I just can't imagine any other positive.
so a car helps you to have adventures in the world and to explore places where it'd be difficult to get to by public transportation, for instance.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe, maybe it gives you more freedom.
And so when you're going to be in Costa Rica, you're looking forward to that. You're quite excited about it. And part of that trip is going to be seeing all different parts of Costa Rica and having freedom and being able to travel wherever you want because you're traveling by car
Yes, that's true.
and traveling together with your family in the car.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's a positive thing.
So there's a lot of excitement around that.
No, that's true. Yes.
So you can start to associate this idea of being in a car with exciting family-centered activities.
That's true. I didn't see that.
So exploring countries that you love that are far away from home and full of rainforests and wonderful things.
That's true. Yes. That's true. I feel calm.
So what are some of the things around cars and families that you're grateful for?
I'm grateful that we have a car, because not everyone on this planet has a car, can afford to have a car, especially in countries which are not as developed as Switzerland. So that's one thing, and I can be grateful for the freedom as well. It makes life easier. it's practical when you have a baby. When she's sick, it's very easy to get to a hospital. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to bring it to a close because we are short of time. But before we do that, I wanted to ask you that scale that I asked you about in the beginning. I wanted to know, when you think about being in a car now, or you think about going home from here, what is the level of fear?
I don't feel any fear now. I feel relaxed.
Before it was at an 8. So what is it? Is there anything left now?
Maybe a little bit, like little in the back. So I would say maybe one or two. But it's not like overpowering as it was before, because before I could feel it. But now it's not. It's just a little thing in the back that you can feel that, but it's not as strong.
Okay, terrific. So you've smoothed out a lot of those energy meridians, and the energy is flowing more freely now. Um, I suspect that there's more work to be done on this, and especially around the negative parts of the fear of cars and dying, and the association you have with cars and dying, and the loss of your life, or the loss of your experiences in life and the relationships that you have. So there's probably more to explore around there, and probably more to release and process around that area. But you've done a great job tapping and experiencing the benefits of this method.
Thank you, David. I hope it will last longer than 2 weeks.
You're welcome, Miriam. I hope it will too. And it may very well last longer.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope so. David, thank you very much. I feel calmer than I was before, and I don't feel stressed and nervous. So we'll see when we go home how it works, and I will let you know if in 2 weeks I'll need another session. I really appreciate that you took time from your busy schedule and you came and spent time with us, and also with our listeners and viewers, because I'm sure they'll find it very helpful.
And thank you, Miriam, for inviting me to demonstrate how this tapping method works. I hope the people watching this have received a good idea and maybe tapped along with us, because it is a powerful method. It's being used more and more, and it can be used for many different things. If you want more information about the method, I would recommend that you go to do a Google search for emotional freedom technique or Gary Craig, and you'll find a lot of information about it online. And there are a lot of YouTube videos where you can also find very specific issue-related ways of tapping.